Recently, the box art for a game I pre-ordered got me thinking. Welcome to Press X. So I went through a ton of video game box arts. I thought about the ones that stuck in my mind the most, and I compared, and I thought, why do I like these box arts? And then I decided I wanted to do a top 5 box arts. I noticed tons of themes as I was going through the games and the ones that I remembered in my mind's eye. There's a couple rules I want to make for these video game box arts. First off, it's not the art that would sell the game the most. It would just be a guy with a gun staring at the camera. It's been done 100 times and I don't want to see it anymore. These are the ones that I look at time and time again and I think about after I'm done. They relate to the game, they're artistic, and they might have hidden things that you may not notice until you've beat the game. So without further ado, here's my top 5. The Grand Theft Auto covers are really iconic. They have a mixture of chaos and order with the broken panels, similar to a comic book. Each panel shows you a piece of the game. It's almost like they looked at those and said, this is what our game needs to be like when it's finished. Grand Theft Auto 3, 4, and 5 all use this format, but my favorite one is Vice City's cover. I love the stylized depiction of all the panels and how it represents everything in the game. That's going to be a running theme of all of these. I like the ones that relate to the game in a subtle way. This one is the least subtle of those, but it still gets the nod in my book. My number 4 is Shadow of the Colossus. This one took a while for me to warm up to, but in the end, I really like it. There's a huge sense of scale with this one. When you look at the cover, you say, there's a huge Colossus, this game looks awesome. But with a little more inspection, you notice that there's a character on a horse down below it. Then you load up the game, you play as the character on the horse, and you realize you're out to slay the Colossus. It gets you excited for that encounter just from remembering the box art. My next choice is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. For some reason that I can't quite put my finger on, this is the box art that stays in my mind more than any. There's a diagonal slash with this parallel drawn between Link and the wolf. Link has the ability to turn into the wolf in the game. They're in similar poses, but just opposite. It's got a gold tint to it, which looks royal, and Link looks way more mature, and there's a lot of that in the game. There's also a mystery to it. You know that Link's good because you've played the Zelda games before, but this wolf, he's so mysterious. I don't know what it is, but whenever I think of a video game box art, this is the one that comes to mind. Twisted Metal Black was one of my favorite arts as a kid. I used to draw that half face of Sweet Tooth all the time. However, the art I'm picking is not the US box. It's an alternate box art. I believed it was used in Europe, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I went on Google, I found it really quickly, and it's this image of Sweet Tooth. Once again, it has that point with a mirrored image. However, one of them, Serial Killer Sweet Tooth, the other one, Ice Cream Man Sweet Tooth. It's incredibly dark. The idea behind Twisted Metal was always dark, but this one took it to the next level. This one's always going to hold a special place in my heart, and so is that game. I'm not sure if it's fair to call this one my number 1, but it is the reason I made this list, so I'm going to allow it. I haven't actually played the game yet, and that's the reason I'm not sure if that's a fair comparison, but what I've seen from the game, it seems like it follows suit. It's Until Dawn. This box art is fantastic. You have an hourglass with death above, showing that you have a limited time to survive. And it's raining down on these teenagers in a cabin, which is exactly what happens in the game, or so it seems. I'm excited for this game, but the box art got me really excited, which is something that's kind of weird to say. Like I said, since it's not generic person holding a gun and looking at the camera, it caught my attention. Since I'm a big fan of art, I'm going to shoot out some honorable mentions. Ico is a beautiful cover, very stylistic, and simple. It's made by the same people as Shadow of the Colossus, yet it has a completely different feel, and I like them both a ton. Gravity Rush art is incredible. I'm completely biased towards this game, but I really do think this art is special. A couple other creative ones I like are Borderlands and Heavy Rain. So something that I noticed when I was going over my box arts is most of them had that parallel mirroring of a picture with one representing something and the other one representing something else. Until Dawn had this, the Twisted Metal one had this, The Twilight Princess one had this, and probably what was my number 6 and almost took the number 5 spot was Fable's art. It made me want an Ocarina of Time box art that was the same thing, with young Link with the ocarina and the older Link with the sword. So think of what box arts are memorable for you. And are they similar? Is there something that connects them, like what happened to me? I was just going through them and then I realized halfway through that they were all the same box art. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm Kevin McManus, and I'll speak with you soon.